Hey guys, this is TFAK with SOTRF, bringing you a teching video. Today I'm going to be going over flat and R-hopping. So here we have the G&G Firehawk. This is Wraiths. I'm going to show you starting off. Now this has already been flat hopped pre, so what we're going to be doing with this to start off is we're going to be just R-hopping it, pretty much swapping the barrel. I already did a batch of 14 barrels, so we're just going to be kind of swapping in a new barrel. So just going to disassemble the upper, pull the hop up and barrel out, put the rest of that aside. So this is something kind of cool and nice about some of the newer G&Gs is they have this block here that sits on the hop up. Essentially what this does is it holds the hop up in place so it doesn't kind of wobble around in the gun. Kind of a nice little stabilization feature. Make sure when you're disassembling, go ahead and turn the hop up all the way off. That way your nub is not pushing down into the window. That way your nub isn't going to go ahead and fall out. Sometimes with a flat hopped bucking, because there's nothing actually grabbing on the barrel, and you pull the barrel out, like in this case, it gets stuck inside the hop up. So you want to find something with a nice flat edge that you can kind of push it out without scoring up or gouging out the inside of the bucking. So you're pretty much just pushing on the back side of the bucking itself. As you can see, this is a stock G&G bucking that has been modified for flat hop. So this is what you'll be using when you're R-hopping. Essentially, R-hop starts with a flat hop, and then as you can see here with these pre-Sugru flat hop buckings or barrels, you have the window filled in. Now, this is a newer method of R-hop compared to other ones where you would cut a patch and custom cut a barrel. This is using a silicone-based, essentially a putty called Sugru, and it's a process of filling the window of your stock barrel without having to modify the window like with traditional R-hop, and filling that in to give you a patch in the window. And to do that, you use piece of air hose. This here is just 1/4-inch air hose, airline from Home Depot. You can find this stuff pretty cheap. And it is 1/4-inch, so it's going to be slightly bigger than 6mm. What I had to do with most of these barrels is I cut a slit down the length, and sometimes had to trim out a little bit more just to get this so it would fit inside the barrel. But when you put that in there, essentially it's going to fit flush on the inside and give the inside of the window a smooth, flush surface for the Sugru to sit up against. That's going to create pretty much a flush, uniform face around the barrel. So then when the BB is in there, this patch is just going to be slightly depressed against the BB, giving a more consistent and larger face for the BB to go against while it's being hopped. So essentially it's more of a consistent surface than a traditional hop or even just a traditional flat hop where the bucking has to be pushed through the window. So now with the already R-hop barrel, you just take your pre-existing either pre-made flat top bucking, like some of the ones like the Modify and some of the Maple Leaf ones. This one obviously is a pre-made or a modified one. With this, you do have to go and look to see where the surfaces are that material was removed and make sure those are not over the window. So you're essentially going to be turning the bucking about 90 degrees from where it used to sit. Put it over the barrel like you normally do and replace it into the hop-up unit. And always be careful when putting the bucking into the hop-up. Make sure that face, when it's going through the window here, is not getting torn up or pushed up against the face. Sometimes it helps to kind of turn it as you put it in, just so that it doesn't catch. As you can see, that's in there. I can replace the C-clip. Make sure it's locked in all the way so that the barrel is sitting in the correct position. You can take your brass spacer and place that. And then with the G&Gs, put your block on there to keep it stable in the unit. You do have to actually turn the hop-up on a little bit to fit the pin through. So now we have that all assembled. We're just going to put the barrel right back into the oven. Now, so I'm kind of working backwards here. That is going straight to the R-hop from a flat hop. Now I'm going to show you how the actual flat hopping works. It's kind of the stage before the R-hop. All right, so now we're going to be showing how to actually do a modification of a normal bucking and making a nub for flat hopping. So starting out here, what I'm doing is I'm taking the standard bucking here, and you have to flip it inside out because we're going to be removing the material on the inside, both the piece that actually sticks into the window of the barrel and actually contacts the BB, as well as, if you look on here, this is that piece that I'm talking about. This is what sticks into the window. It's just a bump on there, as well as this line that sits in the channel on the bottom of the barrel, which helps it align. So what you're going to do is, like I said, flip that inside out like I've done so. I usually stick the bucking on something, for example here, just on a pin punch, just to hold its shape. And you want a nice sharp blade, it's a brand new razor blade, and you're going to be cutting off all that material. And you want it nice and flat. You for sure don't want any material sticking out anymore. You want it at least flush, if not slightly recessed in. As long as you're not cutting too far into the material itself, a little bit recessed is fine as well. You just want it to be at least flush, because otherwise the bucking will stick out on the barrel and won't fit properly into the hop-up unit. So just take your time, go slow, make sure you have a nice new sharp blade for doing this, otherwise it will be very jagged and won't be a nice clean cut. It'll be hard to remove all the material. So this isn't perfect or quite complete, but as you can see, I've removed the bump on there. This is most of the way done. Now this is just a test bucking, so I'm not going to go ahead and finish it all the way just because this is just for use. I don't have a use for it currently, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to the ridge on here and remove that as well. The ridge is a lot easier because it's just one continuous uniform piece that you can simply cut right off. The bump's a little bit harder, especially with some buckings where the bump is actually two pieces. Some of them are different shapes. Some of them are a little tougher than others, but the ridge here is always pretty easy. And again, I would normally spend more time on this, but the ridge is mostly removed here. Like I said, just make sure it's flush when you actually do it. There are little pieces on here that are still sticking up. Normally I would take the time to go through and remove those completely, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna show you what we do next. So once that material is removed, you're gonna go ahead and flip your bucking back around so that it is right side out. And that's the bucking itself is done. And then for the nub, you're gonna have to make a whole new nub. You're not gonna be using the old nub. Here is one that I've already pre-made. You can see the shape you want is a flat rectangle with a semicircle on top. The semicircle is what the arm of the hop-up will actually ride on, and you want it rounded so that it will pivot, because as the arm comes down, it's changing angle. And you want to be able to pivot on there because you want the bucking, or the nub rather, to sit flush and flat against that bucking all the time. So again, just a flat rectangle. You want completely flat on the bottom side. It's easiest to get your width by taking your existing nub and getting about the same thickness overall as a normal nub. So that you would replace onto the nub replace the old one in the hop-up where that is. And that is flat hopping and R hopping. If you guys have any questions, you can shoot us a message. I will help you any way I can. If you got questions, thanks for watching. All right, guys, this is a little outro. I want to give you kind of a preview of some of the upcoming videos I'll be doing, other projects I'm working on, stuff that I want to get on video for you guys so you can see what's going on. The first here is the Team's 249. This is our G&P M249 SF, which is essentially it's a Mark 46 minus the upper rail. Been doing a lot of work on this. We bought this from another airsofter, used and broken. As you can see here, it's missing the feed tray is not attached due to the block here being broken, as well as have the gearbox shell was actually cracked. So I've had to do a bit of work to get that going. We're in the process of acquiring all the parts for that. I'll go over all that in the video, as well as the install and some of the parts. I've got the new block here for the feed tray, as well as I R-hopped a tight bore for it. I'll be installing that, as well as a couple other parts I'll be doing and just kind of going over what we've done and show you performance of it. And then the other one I have here, this guy here is a personal build I'm doing. It is an SPR Mod 1. As you can see right now, that's not what it is. But I will be getting the front end kit to replace all of the front end forward of the receiver to turn it into a Mod 1, SPR Mod 1, so the 18-inch barrel, rails, all that good stuff. Again, I've done a lot of work on this DMR build, so internally it has a lot done. And again, I'll be going over everything I've already done, as well as going through the install of the front end kit. And again, this one is also R-hopped, as with this Pro-In with the long barrel. This is also R-hopped. So I'll go over all that in some upcoming videos, so stay tuned.